where the talks will lead, or the participation and the partnership will lead to a situation where we will provide good governance to the people of the country. We want our people to be lifted out of the economic doldrums that we have now. There is a multidimensional poverty in the country. So we realize that it is important that we all work together as much as possible to improve the lot of the average man or the average person in the country at the moment. So regarding that, we are open to suggestions, to meetings, to anything that will foster a movement towards that.
Right.
You get it?
Yes.
But we haven't had such meetings. That's what I should be saying.
Right.
So I'm not saying, we're not saying we're against what purportedly took place. But the reporting is that it took place and we were there. We were not.
You were not.
We don't know. Yes, we don't know about it.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think that puts a lot of things into perspective this evening, Mr. Ladipo. Right. We want to say thank you very much for your time, by the way. We appreciate you joining us this evening and making it clear what what your participation here has been. Again, Mr. Ladipo Johnson, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anytime. Thank you.
Mr. Ladipo Johnson is the spokesperson of the New Nigeria People's Party, joining us to confirm their participation at the Coalition of Concerned Political Parties, which is a new coalition which is supposedly supposed to offer strong opposition to the ruling All Progressives Congress. I want us to sort of look at what what this could mean for the current administration. In just a moment, we're joined by Wale Adekoya. Wale Adekoya is a public affairs analyst, and he joins us to talk about this coalition here, and talk to us about just what he thinks should be the mandate of this party of this coalition rather at this time, what we can expect from them, and if he has any sort of expectations or any if he's got any expectations of what their performance would be. Wale Adekoya joins us now. Good evening, Mr. Adekoya. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, good evening. Hi. It's good to be here. In the evening,
Yeah, of course. Happy to have you with me this evening, Mr. Adekoya.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. Thank you.
So we've just heard from, Ladipo Johnson. The New Nigeria People's Party were not at this meeting, so there's a little bit of misreporting with the story tonight. But what we do understand, and we can hear him say, is that the NNPP is ready to join any coalition, when anything is properly so.
Of what you was talking, I said, yes, let's go. So now, let's now go finally, the third part, quickly. See, from the nomenclature, the label, the tag, there is a structural problem. Who is absorbing who? The countdown to 2023 election, we were thinking, I never believed that NNPP Labour, at least, or NNPP PDP or PDP Labour, I never believed any of these opposition parties would never go into a merger. I believe that at least two of them will merge. But what do we have? So, having said that, I don't think that we work.
All right. So let's break down your points. One, you
so
think
far from what we are saying, so I don't see it happening.
Right. Let's break down your points. Right. So one, you are saying that you don't. We tend to have this, I am all and all, I'm the alpha, I'm everything, and I think it's represented in our elections, in our democratic system. We run a winner takes all, sort of system.
Absolutely.
Right? It's win. It's either you win or you don't win. Right? There's no in between. It's either you win or you're the loser. And that in itself, it's a feature of our democracy. I'm not sure, what we can do about that. If it's there in our democracy, it seeps into our political situation. But that's on one side. On the other hand, you've said that they don't seem to be this, messianic individual who is going to say, I am going to sacrifice my ambition for the greater good of the collective. Something that gives, that gives people a reason to want to move ahead. And you alluded to what we've seen with the APC and the president. But isn't that right there the problem? The fact that as we saw with the APC, some would argue that it was essentially built around one man, right, and his ambitions. That's the president. And you can see that sort of come to the open when lawmakers at the National Assembly were singing a campaign song of a sitting president, right? So isn't that supposed to actually be something that we try to avoid going forward, building a coalition around the ambitions and sacrifices of one man who, may or may not, we don't know, but it would be best to avoid it, lords that over them?
One Chika, but you must know that the political system is a function of the larger society.
Hello?
Yeah, Chika.
Yes,
are you
please
with
go.
me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm saying that the political system is a function of the larger society. The school of thought of politics I belong to, I do not quite agree that these ideologies of that people push, I think is more of a paper thing. In South Africa, Nelson Mandela days, the real ANC, you see the Mandela's features all over, all around it. Even the greatest history. UPN is Obafemi Awolowo. What are we talking about here? Ahmadu Bello, the Sultan of Sokoto, is the Amir Muslim, is the chief imam of northern Nigeria. Is the number one. He was number one Muslim. He was the head of the political party, and he was an emir. So 3 in 1. The same thing if you come to southeast and south then. The issue is, and identity politics that even left Europe, Eastern Europe, and even North America, it's also coming back. Hey, they are Hispanics, they are blacks, it's Catholic, and so on and so forth. Now, having said that, you see, political evolution is not something you can it's not a destination you can get to without the movement. You must walk it. Some people must come down to say, look, this is what we're going to do. So it's also about leadership. Would you have done something? The symbol, at the end of the day, look at Awolowo's cap, his eyeglasses, and what have you. It's not what even the Tinubu of nowadays are using, and so on and so forth. Now, the coalition that we are talking about is that in this part of the world, Nigeria that we are discussing today, if there is no, the one we refer to as the messianic tendencies, the center may collapse. And that's what has been happening. Look at the PDP today. Who is that one man that will say, hey guys, enough. All said and done, enough. People keep talking about coalition, aggregation of forces, ideas. A time will come, like this time, the quagmire that the PDP had found itself. Who can say, okay, guys, let's come. There is a good Lord Jonathan there. He had called 2 meetings, the Bunu Sharif period. They worked out on him. Imagine there was a personality, or there is a personality in the PDP, so they say, hey, everyone, we care, and all of you, let's meet in Abuja. Let's go to Dubai. Let's go to Canada. Enough. So that is where I feel we are for now. And for me, there is nothing wrong with a godfather. The problem is a bad godfather.
But you see, that's the thing, right? Is there any such thing as a good godfather? Because the idea of a godfather, as far as the Nigerian political space is concerned, is somebody who lords his intentions and his will over the person that he has anointed to take a certain position. We see that, we see that play most recently in the case between the former governor of Rivers State, who is now the Minister of State for the FCT, and the current governor of the state. And the accusations. Obviously, even going into the elections, we knew that former Governor Wike had a candidate that was same. Hold on, Mr. Declare. That was Siminala Ifubara. I'm coming, right? Okay. Has there been but we've seen that happen. It happened with Obaseki and Oshomole. It happened here in Lagos, right, between former Governor Fashola and now President Bola Tinubu. And I wonder if you can point to one instance where we've actually seen this ideal situation of a quote-unquote good godfather.
Chika, the examples you cited, these are not particularly godfathers. The godfathers that we are talking about in the political system, those are not good. Those are benefactors.
You can call it what you will, but it follows the same principle, don't they?
I'm coming. See, the angle you're going is slightly different. An election was coming. There is this gentleman, well-read, a banker, a lawyer, a teacher, a journalist, and he needed somebody to push him. You should ask yourself, though this one you're talking about is as a result of the defects in our democratic system. That's the problem, actually. See, you've read all the books, you know all the stuff, but somebody needs to push you. So the problem is not the Wikes or the benefactors. The problem are the Fasholas, the Ambodes, the Fubaras, and what have you. Why did I say that? He that comes to equity must come with clean hands. If you know that you cannot tolerate anybody breathing down your neck, don't go to them. Don't sign any bond. Don't do any deal. Walk your talk.
That sounds rather idyllic, doesn't it?
That's why I'm saying that the one you are talking about is idealism, because the human nature, number one, forbids a vacuum. There must be a leader at all times, sociologically, morphologically, physiologically, commonsensically. Nature abhors a vacuum. Somebody must be the leader. See, you cannot have a political system that somebody will not call the shots anywhere in the world. Look at the Americans that will. Have you not heard of when you hear somebody is an establishment? It's from the establishment. In GOP, the Republican Party, you still have the families. Don't let anybody deceive you. The Bushes, they call the shots. Once in a while, once in 1,000 years, you may have those rabble-rousers, pardon me, like somebody like Donald Trump Jr. will come from nowhere. You get what I mean? So his leadership and the examples you cited about somebody choosing who succeeds him or her, that is a weakness that is being exploited by many of these politicians, and it is a fallout of the fact that many of these aspirants, they were beggarly, they were careless, desperate to get power at all cost. Somebody spends his money, his wealth, the influence, power, might to put you there, and you had a discussion. So you got there, and you now want to be the good boy. He said no God. The man in Edo State said no Godfather. He told Oshoma, and now he's even doing worse than the man is. So it's I'm not excusing that, but it is the reality. But I'm even talking about the bigger picture, that you have a political party nationally or what have you. There must be that man who can call Wike now. And we are just saying the PDP. The same thing with many other political parties. Peter Obi just told us that he told the Labour Party senators about the vehicles. They didn't listen to him. They went ahead to take it. What did Peter Obi himself do? Nothing. So where is the leadership? So it is endemic, it is systemic, it is structural. So that is where we are in our political evolution. To come out of it, if we are ready, you tell the aspirants, the guys that wants to be Edo State governor in a few months' time, tell them to go alone. Do you know the bonds that some of these guys are making now? I know some. I know what happened in Kogi State. So when you get the ticket, you don't want to say, no godfather, overbearing influence. Excuse me. He that comes to equity. Arrest.
Right. So that's the second, and it's interesting how we spent a lot of time discussing, this second point about, not having a figure. But I think you also made mention of a third point why you think this will not work, and that's all of them not entering one political party. But they say that's one political party not absorbing all of them. But, however, they say they're saying that this is not a merger, right? This is not a merger. So I reckon what they're saying is all 6 of them will, and I expect that they will be putting out a what's it called now, like a statement, or they will put out a united opposition front to the APC on issues of governance for the next couple of years, right? Do you think that it is that it makes any sense if that is what they want to do, as opposed to forming a merger and going against the ruling party?
The path they are going is shaky, but the idea is fantastic. If they can actually get to that destination, believe me, they will sack the PD, they will sack the APC. Look at the last election had shown us. Bola Ahmed Tinubu scored 37% of the total vote to become the commander-in-chief, the president. Atiku Abubakar got 29%. Peter Obi got 1/4 of the votes, that's 25%. Ajo 25 to 29. There will be no Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency today. But our people, look at Rabi Kwankwaso told Peter Obi, he said, look, I'm bigger than you in politics. I can't be your vice. You know that. Peter Obi said, no, look, I'm the force. I'm the phenomenon. You have to kill. No, you can't. I can't. You can't. You saw what happened. And for this merger, 7 of them, I just hope we'll have gentlemen who will concede. You have to concede. You have to be large-hearted. You have to be philosophical. You have to be strategic. To say, look, okay, I will step down for you. I'll push the money ahead. For me, as Wale Adekoya, as a political analyst in this country, I have not seen so many of them. But who knows? When the chips are down, we may have guys who may rise above board to become the MVP of the exercise. If they can do that, the APC should be on the run.
Right. Well, let's see what happens next. Wale Adekoya, thank you very much for your time this evening. We appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine. Yeah, bye-bye.
Wale Adekoya, a political analyst, joining us to discuss this coalition here. Again, coalition, not a merger. We spoke to the spokesperson of the New Nigeria People's Party. He said they didn't receive an invite. We'll reach out to the members of the other parties too, because we tried to reach out to them today, but unfortunately we couldn't get any of them to commit to joining us. But hopefully we can have a conversation with them in the coming weeks to sort of get an agenda or get a sense of the agenda that they are trying to set with this coalition here. But Lagos, I want to hear your opinion on this, right? So this coalition here looks solid on the surface, and our analyst has said that much, right? It looks great, but he was quick to poke holes in the agenda in terms of how how they are currently made up and how efficient he thinks they will be given how they are currently constituted. If you missed it, the PDP, the New Nigeria People's Party, African Democratic Congress. Well, not New Nigeria People's Party because they said they were not at this meeting. They've been having talks, but they weren't there yesterday. So let's leave them out. The PDP, ADC, that's the African Democratic Congress, the Allied People's Movement, APM, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, the Young Progressives Party, YPP, and Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. They've all come together to join, in what is now in what is now known as the Coalition of Concerned Political Parties, right? But we should also say that the Labour Party, that's the LP, right, the one that Peter Obi belongs to, appears not to have, participated in this. We don't know why the Labour Party didn't take part in this, but we know that these other parties, have met in Abuja. 6 of them met in Abuja, had a conversation, and I'll tell you what the representatives of the other political parties there are saying in just a moment. But that's at the round table where I'll get your thoughts on what you think this coalition will do, if at all you're positive that it can actually do something. Okay, stay with me. This is the big story. The round table is up next. My numbers, if you want to talk to me, 0913 5000 953, 0913 5000 953, and 0901 1111 953, 0901 1111 953. These are my live studio lines to call and join the conversation. I want to hear your thoughts on this. If you want to leave me a note on WhatsApp, 0809 682 2595, 0809 682 2595. That's my WhatsApp line. Send me text, send me voice notes. I'll attend to them. This is Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. Good evening.
Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Financial Services Regulation and Coordinating Committee FSRCC tinyere National Broadcasting Commission NBC johere ado obodo aka na ntị banyere ndị na-atụ mgbere ego iwu akwadoghị bụ Illegal Financial Operators IFO nke na-eme ka ndị mmadụ ghara inwekwa ntụkwasị obi ọzọ tinyere na ngalaba na-ahụ maka ego na Nigeria enweghị nkwudosi ike. Ha jizi ohere agwa ndị ọha obodo ka ha kwụsị ịtụnyere ndị na-atụ mgbere ego enweghị akwụkwọ ikike. Ị nwekwara ike ime nchọpụta banyere akwụkwọ ikike ụlọ ọrụ dị otu a site n'akara webụsaịtị ndị a: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng. maka inye mkpesa banyere gburugburu ego n'ụdị ọbụla kpọọ 07002255226, 08002255226 maọbụ +234-817-665-6273. ozi a si n'aka FSRCC.
The issues are all around us, but who talks about them? Law enforcement breaking the law, property owners ripping off tenants, political office holders taking the electorate for granted, or is it the plague of recurring bad policies made by the government? These are the issues. Let's talk about these and more at the round table. Stay locked on to Radio Now 95.3 FM every weekday as we discuss these hot topics around us on The Round Table on Now Express. The Round Table, weekdays, 5:30 p.m.
Good evening. Thanks for staying with us. This is the Round Table. My name is Chika Agum. Now, if you missed it earlier, we've been talking about this coalition of concerned political parties that are expected to put up a united opposition front to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The parties are the PDP, the African Democratic Congress, Allied People's Movement, Young Progressives Party, Zenith Labour Party. All of them are putting up a united front to challenge, not necessarily challenge, but they say that they want to put forward,
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, Shegun. Just hold on. They say they want to put on, they want to provide an alternative, governance solution, alternative solutions to government policies, right? So how do you think this will work? 0913 5000 953 if you want to say something. 0901 1111953. Shegun, if you can call back, please, that would be great. Your call was patched through to the studio, and I wasn't ready to take that. I apologize. Good evening. Hi, can you please turn down the volume on the radio in the background?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Wilk. I'm calling from Bariga.
Your name is?
Ugochukwu.
Ugochukwu, good evening. Yeah. Please carry on.
All right. In some area, I think I will agree with your guest or the guy you started on.
Yeah.
For an extent. But in the area of being godfather, I disagree. Because he trying to justify being a godfather maybe is something that Nigerians should go for. But if you don't look at it, maybe you want me to be a governor, and maybe you have looked at me and see that okay, I will be the one that will pick, that will do well, or that will govern that state very well. Now look at me and say, okay, guy, come, let me support you. Then in that area, you now ask me to, if government, maybe that state government is getting revenue of 10 million naira, then based on you are the one that asked me, or you are the one that sponsor me, you are the one that campaign, so you now come and give me condition to start paying maybe 8 million to your own account and left 2 million for the state. I did not agree to that area. So what will you want that governor to do? Use and pay salary. What will you want that governor to use to maybe do things, or he promised to citizens in that state? You understand? How do you want that governor to perform? So that in that area, I quite disagree with the guy. You may agree with him based on he wants you to be a governor. Hello?
I'm with you.
Okay. You want me? You look at me. I'll perform well in that state. I will do well. Being if I become a governor. Then you want to frustrate me not to do well. You want to frustrate me because you are the one that asked me. You are the one that supported me to be a governor, and you don't want me to perform. So then I'm not worthy to be a governor.
Right.
Maybe you will agree. Agree with him.
These are the downsides of obviously being a godfather. And I mean, I hear you, Ugochukwu. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for your thoughts. Appreciate that. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Chika.
Hi, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Himari from Ogo.
Hey, Himari, long time. How are you doing, my brother?
No, hear from you. Good to hear your voice again. I tried to call because I discovered you in this video.
All right, please go on, my brother.
I totally agree with your analyst.
Yeah.
Okay, the football analyst that it's not every time he gets this right. Okay. See, the truth of the matter, he started as if that personal affection with the president. Okay, every time he come already, he talk about the president. I think it's only too good that we have as a political strategy. Wrong. There is no way six political parties will come together. You think you don't have credible individuals. You don't have inflation. It's your truth. If you say it's true, that thing, what he's telling us that we don't have credible individuals to rule this nation anymore. That's what he's trying to tell us, which I disagree. And again, it's like playing Superman. See, who are what close related with some politicians. Okay, I discover some of these things they can come government. You don't think they need power about it. You think they person pick them because you are obedient to them, you become power, you able to cover so many things. They bring them in, okay? And this is only in details until when they get in. So totally I decided to we have credible individuals from these parties, and if coming together is a check in the right direction because country is going to one political system. We need person to wake up to attract this power, okay? Good direction, good decision, and give them kudos. Tell your analyst sometimes you should learn how to balance analysis. Good evening.
Ehimari, hold on. So here's the thing, right? When we bring people to discuss issues, we're not in any way saying that they have all the answers, right? Again, remember, it's a commentary, right? He's making a commentary, and that's how he sees it, right? That's how he sees it. That's how he relates to what's happening. And I want to hear from you, because I want to hear, what you think of it, how you relate to it. So in many ways, you are bringing the balance. Do you understand what's happening here?
I think I'm just committed. This is so much better.
No. I want you to understand. No, I want you to understand your role. No, Ehimari, hold on. I want you to understand your role and not his role, okay? Right? Because you clearly are not speaking to your own role in all of this, and that's, for me, is where the problem is. So I like what you've just said, and in many ways you have provided the balance, okay, and it's fine. Okay, it's absolutely fine, my brother. It's always a pleasure hearing from you, Himari. Have a good evening.
You too.
0913-5000-953 and 0901-1111-953. Shegun, I think you called me earlier. If you can call back now, that'd be great, Shegun. Sorry, we had to, drop the call earlier because I was still speaking, and that was patched through to the live studio. Came in too early. So that's clash happened there. We apologize. But we're seeing what is now a coalition of concerned political parties, and I think it's interesting, but I'll say something shortly after this call. Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Victoria Island.
Emmanuel, good evening. Please go on.
Yes, there is something I see in this analysis. What we, the youth, are clamoring for is, if they want to form a coalition, they should form a coalition that will carry the majority of the youth, because since the last election did not present anything to us, and we are getting tired of what is happening now. So if they are forming any coalition, they should form a coalition that at least that will carry the youth, because it's the youth that hold the future. Or how did you see it? It's not about how they want to form it, but it's about how they will carry the problem of Nigeria and how they will present solutions to the problems of Nigerians. Because if they are forming this coalition, they are forming this coalition for let it not be for just their own just interest, because political party is all about interest. But what we are seeing is that Nigerians are suffering. So when they are forming any coalition, they should form a coalition that will solve some Nigerians' problems. That is how I look at it, and that is my take.
Thank you very much. I hear you. I appreciate that too, Emmanuel. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Chika.
Good evening. How are you, Ibeto? Welcome.
Thank you, Chika. I'm listening to your guest, and let me just speak one thing he mentioned about PDP. Are we talking about the weakest PDP or Atiku PDP? Because I wonder, all those other parties they mentioned, what is their scorecard? And now you don't have NCP with you, you don't have LP with you, you don't have, I think, which other one that has a little strength. Every other one is just like, I don't know. So what are we talking about here? The coalition, I don't see it as something tangible that will hold, energy, because the Labour Party is not there. SDP is not there. So
no, SDP is here.
Have they agreed to be?
It was the national chairman of the SDP that gave a statement after the meeting. He was the one who clarified that it was a coalition and not a merger. So the SDP is well represented here. It's the Labour Party that's not.
Okay. Yeah, basically, the main guy there is PDP. Because if PDP, if they are not one, if they are not united, I doubt how effective that would come out to be, because that's just the way I see it. Then in the area of God solidarity, the politics is just sometimes we don't really seem to understand what politics is all about. Politics is just that big threat that you approach her with anything that can give you a result. You understand? You know why I use a mid-threat? You understand me? So when you approach her, she doesn't care. If you come with Bible, she accepts with you. If you come with Juju, she accepts. If you come with money, she accepts. If you come with whatsoever, with any kind of, that's just the way it is. And that's the concern is all about the numbers. That's what the demand. So anyhow you want to play the politics to win her, you go home with her. So if they are coming with but if where I see it, if PDP, if they don't put themselves in order, I wonder how they can preach others. Even where they really have to work with, really have to work with Labour Party, the other parties, NMPP, that other one. Then if they be able to draw in SDP, then SDP will pull others closer. Okay. In conclusion, my brother. Young People's Party, I remember Ifeanyi Ubah from my native town. When he went there, he made a number, but now he has left that party. Now you now look at it that yes, who are those? Who are the guys that will champion this thing and give them the number they are looking for? My brother, I don't see, and the person you want to stand against is somebody that has that political.
Inbetu, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, let me round up. Yes,
right.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president. That man, he understands most of these things that we're talking about. So anything you are planning, he will wait for you. And at the end of it, you'll see that you're falling out of. I mean, he has upper hand. So my brother, we'll continue. It doesn't end there. It is politics, so we'll continue to play politics, and that's just where I see. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Ibetu. Appreciate you. 0913 5000 953 and 0901 1111953. These are the live city lines to dial this evening. I want to hear from you. So let's just go through what some of the statements. Let's go through some of the statements that were made right after the meeting. Right. So one. Shehu Gabam, who is the national chairman of the SDP, said the coalition is not a merger, but rather a united front against the ruling party. He also said, that they're worried about some of the ongoing governorship election litigations in the country, and said that the judiciary should not allow politicians to infiltrate their ranks. Right? He went on saying, quote, "We looked into the issue of the judiciary. The judiciary is the last hope of the common man if it still stands. The judiciary should strengthen their conviction towards delivering judgments that can stand the test of time. They should not allow we politicians to infiltrate their rank, sanity, and capacity to deliver judgments that are internationally sound and can be recognized." Some self-awareness there, if you ask me. He also said that they're worried about the level of instability the country is going through, saying, quote, "If you look at recent developments in Zamfara, Nasarawa, Kano, and Plateau State, it is very clear that the judiciary must exercise extreme caution with some of its decisions." Right? We also had the National Secretary of the PDP, Setonji Koshido, or Koshuedo, I'm not sure how this is pronounced, who represented the acting party's national chairman, Umaru Damagum. Setonji said the coalition will offer a strong opposition for the good of the country. Quote, "This coalition wants to offer strong opposition for the good of Nigeria. Our duty is to offer alternative solutions to government policies." Also, speaking on the coalition, the national chairman of the ADC, Ralph Nwosu, said the idea behind the coalition is to strengthen our democracy. We've seen that people in government are trying to stifle viable opposition. Right, so that's what we see. Those are some of the quotes from politicians present there. Let's get your thoughts on this. I'll tell you what the APC is saying in just a moment. You're in there. Good evening. Can you please turn down the volume on the radio in the background? Thank you. What's your name?
Yeah, how you doing now?
I'm fine. Kenny, how are you?
I do where you keep us. So
welcome, my brother. Please go on.
My brother, for Nigeria, every day in a new case, like COVID.
Kenny, that was a good one.
But we are discovering new things every day. I just like Nigeria. Nigeria is just a comedy state.
Yeah, it's a new strain every day, right? It's a new strain.
You must see something new. You must see something new. Never a dull moment.
Oh my God.
No wonder they gave us the happiest country in the whole world.
I go on, go on.
God don't let take a profile inside our Gary. Which are the coalition again? What are they coaliting? Teacher. Hello?
I'm listening to you.
I said, what are they coaliting? Are they not supposed to coalesce before election? Why are you coaliting after election? I don't understand.
But clearly, this is not. But no, Kenny, this is not even for elections because they said it's not a merger. So, which I find very interesting. And I really
are you supposed to form coalition.
Hold on. So, I don't know, but they say this is not a merger. This is a coalition. They are saying
coalition to achieve what?
Together. Like the PDP person says, they are going to provide alternative solutions to government policies.
Okay, you see all this coalition, all these people from this party, they are too immiscible liquid. So they should stop disturbing us. Is it not the same coalition that APC coalesce and they now coalesce us where we are coalescing ourselves? These people, they have different ideology, different personal interests. You understand me? So, to the work, you cannot fuse the fusion. No, there's nothing like fusion there. Because they are coming from different backgrounds. And when you look at it, there are some people in one party A. They are still members of this ruling party, but they are still there like a mole. You see them finding, I don't agree, I lie. In the night, you go see, I will go collect in share. APC in the night, another party in the afternoon. They should stop confusing us. These people, they are reaping from this ruling party, they are eating from there. You understand me? All this aggression is just waste of energy. That is what I see it as. There's no coalition that can work. For now, it will never work. Look at what is happening in NNPP. Kwakwanso and NNPP. Look at what is happening there. So the NNPP want to push Kwakwanso and this thing out, the governor out. Even telling them that they should not come and destroy their party. Because they were in the party before they came. Now they came, they want to hijack the party. You understand? So the issue there is the coalition for me to not work unless we get the right person. I wish they can do our constitution to have independent candidates.
But we do. There's independent candidates. There's independent candidacy. It's just that the threshold is high, but we do have independent candidacy. I think that you have to get a certain number of votes. A certain number of signatures at state level and at presidency level, depending on what you're running for. I can't exactly remember the details now, but we do have.
I tell you within this coalition. It's just like you want to drink Gary and you put Gary, you put laterite, you put Claver, put everything. When you spit out for your mouth, nothing will happen. It will never, it's not miscible. You understand me? It will never blend. So all these people that are doing that, all these people, they are career politicians. They are looking for what to eat. Because that is where they eat from. None of them, they don't have side also. They don't have second address. Some of them have been eating from that their party secretary. From Daikin Duncan, they are still there. They will tell you the history of Awolowo, tell you history of this, tell you the history of this. They have not left that party. They don't have any way they do business. They always that party money.
All right, Kenny,
it will not work.
Thank you very much. I hear you, and it's okay to think that it's not going to work. I mean, in the end, we only can wait and see what comes next, right? Except you're Nostradamus and you can tell the future. Even then, I wasn't sure he was right. But it's 0913 5000 953 and 0901 1111 953. So the APC has reacted. The APC yesterday said that that it's not bothered by the ongoing moves from opposition, including the PDP and the SDP, to form a force ahead of the 2027 general elections. At a press conference in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, said that there was nothing out of the ordinary since the ruling party was a product of a merger of like minds prior to the 2015 polls. And he said that the APC has the wherewithal to withstand any, quote, gang up in the country. Right, that's what he believes. He says the APC has what it takes to, withstand any gang up in the country. But, I find it very interesting that these political parties say that they are a coalition and not a merger. And I've been thinking, shouldn't they be thinking about a merger right now so that they have enough time to, work out the modalities of what's going to happen next? Which party are they merging into? How will that work? How are they putting forward a united front? Because the best time to actually, begin preparations for 2027, is now. I mean, I mean, the opposition can afford to do that. The ruling party should really just focus on governance. Right? The ruling party should just focus on governance. The opposition, they get the... I would say they get the benefit of a head start when things like this come up, right? They can afford to say, look, let's begin to strategize. Where are our, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What does each person bring to the table? How do we get the best out of everyone? I think that it's a conversation that must be had, as early as possible, right? And so, if they are not going to be, form a merger, I find it very interesting what the point of all of this will be. So what happens in 2026? Do they all break into individual parties and then provide, put forward their individual candidates and then start maligning one another and start, pushing back against one person's politics? On how after 3-4 years of after 3 years, I would say, of putting forward a united front, are you going to go back to the election and then split into individual units? Again, it looks very it's a very important question. It looks confusing, when you see what as a coalition they can actually, as a merger rather, they can actually do. Right, when you see the numbers like our analysts gave us during the conversation on the big story, when you see the numbers and what could have come if the PDP and the Labour Party had merged, during the elections and put up a front against the PDP and put up against the APC rather, perhaps we would have had a different conversation today. But be that as it may, I still think that perhaps this is early days. So a coalition first to see how well they work together. And maybe a merger up in the future when they decide that this is, who we are, this is what we stand for, and this is the best path forward for all of us. So maybe it's not really a bad thing that they are starting out with a coalition, so that in the end we don't end up with, a party or a merger that becomes a bed of, a party of strange bedfellows. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and we'll continue to monitor what happens next. Again, as always, you can count on us to continue to report on all of this right here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. My name is Chika Agu. I want to say thank you very much for being a part of the week, of the conversation this week rather. I'm back tomorrow. Oh, no, I'm not. Tomorrow is a Saturday. Okay, so I'm back Monday. I'm back Monday from 2 p.m. And I hope you join me then. The news summary is up next at 6 p.m. Have a good night, Lagos.
Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local